Inter Miami DC United final score highlights from MLS game. Washington. Without Lionel Messi, by the way, Inter Miami dropped points in the MLS Supporters Shield race, and with a reserve heavy lineup, and settling for a 1-1 draw against struggling DC United at Audi Field, by the way, on Saturday, in 23 of August. And with Messi, by the way, with Messi right hamstring, and another big name, Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba, by the way, knee post sidelined with injury. He has an injury, by the way, with his knee. And Miami, by the way, head coach Javier Mascherano opted to swap out most of his starting lineup against one of MLS weakest teams. And Sergio Busquets, by the way, and Rodrigo De Paul and Luis Sua all began the game on the bench, and so the trio of global stars did enter the match in the second half. In the meantime, by the way, United took a shock 13-minute lead via a fine finish from Jackson Hopkins and capping off a strong opening phase from the hostess. However, Miami improved, by the way, in the second half with Baltasar and Rodriguez scoring a world-class half-volley to equalize in the 64 minutes. And for Miami, by the way, a draw against United, who were eliminated from the playoff race with the results and will go down as a disappointment. And the Herons, by the way, currently sit in 5th place in the Eastern Conference with 46 points and trail the Supporters Shield leaders Philadelphia Union by 8 points. And by the way, Inter Miami vs DC United final score was 1-1. That's full time, by the way, at Audi Field with DC United and Inter Miami playing to a 1-1 draw. And Jackson Hopkins first half goal gave the hostess a lead in a leveler performance than their fans have seen, by the way, in a while. But a rocket, by the way, from Baltasar Rodri got Miami level midway and through the second half, and both sides hit the post in the final stages, by the way, but the Herons will wonder how all their second half pressure and didn't amount to a game winner. And Inter Miami, by the way, has put DC United under intense pressure as the game wear down, and Rodrigo, by the way, De Paul nearly claimed a game winner in stoppage time just now. And it would have, by the way, been very lucky. And as he free kick missed all of his targets, and was the ball, by the way, pumped towards this goal and hit the post with Luis Baraza beat him. It remains 1-1 in the final second, and Inter Miami, by the way, vs DC United, moral goal called back, final subs. This game, by the way, actually has turned it into something of a thriller, and with Jacob Morel having a goal called back over what seemed like a very narrow offside call. Yes, actually, offside call. And Inter Miami's, by the way, last sub sees defender Ryan Seller replaced, by the way, by Ian Frey, and while DC United goes for broke by throwing forward Dominic Badgie into the 6 and taking of defender Connor Antley. And Inter Miami, by the way, vs DC United, 2 more DCU subs. And DC United has added more fresh legs with Rennie Wheeler and sending on Joa Beglo and Rida Zuhair, by the way, for Jackson Hopkins and Brandon Servania in the 74 minutes. In the meanwhile, by the way, one of Wheeler earlier subs, Jacob Morel, and hits the post on an increasingly rare break forward for the hostess. And goal Inter Miami. The goal for Inter Miami, by the way, Rodriguez scores unreal goal. Really, unreal goal. And we have good a flurry of activity. And most notably, by the way, and a sensational goal by substitute Baltasar Rodriguez in the 64 minutes. Yes. and a seemingly wayward, by the way, corner kick floated over another second half. Substitute, by the way, Luis Sua, like we say that a lot has happened in the last few minutes, by the way. And Rodriguez took advantage and hitting a spectacular half volley that bent into the furthest reaches of the upper corner to equalize. Exactly, yes. This came, by the way, shortly after a flurry of substitutions from both teams. First, Javier Mascherano opted, by the way, for a triple substitution and bringing on Sergio Busquets and Rodrigo De Paul and Baltasar Rodri for Gonzalo, by the way, Lujan and David Royce and Telesco. And United, by the way, made a double swap of their own and sending Jared Stroud and Jacob Morel, by the way, for Gabriel Birani and Hossi, by the way, and the seconds before Soares entered the fray in place of Tadeu Alendi. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a nice time and a great day. Thank you so much.